Hello everyone, it's Mandalore of YouTube. Sorry I haven't been on a while, but I'm here with some Star Wars Starship discussion with my two friends, Halo Shaw and Zamasu. You can say hello.
Hello. You.
So, the ground rules, guys, here is we're going to take 2 to 3 or more ships from the prequel factions and the original trilogy factions and see how we can improve them to our liking. And we are allowed both in canon and in Legends. So, free reign over any ship type from both eras. So, do one you guys want to start off with a particular faction for ones you?
Hmm. I don't think it matters which faction we start off with.
I know, but I'm saying, do you want to start off?
Hmm.
How about the separatists?
All right, what
Them
ships?
seppies. Them.
Okay, we'll start with separatists for all of us. So, Zamso, since you mentioned it, what would be at least one that you would take and modify? That you can at least recall the name.
Hmm. I'm thinking.
And if you want, I
Well,
can.
there is the malevolence.
Okay, the Malevolence.
Hmm. I can already think of stuff they could do to fix that.
Malevolence Star Wars. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff I can agree on that. So, Zamso, what would you do to modify this thing to make it much better?
Hmm. Trying to remember what it did exactly.
It has two giant ion cannons on the side and you can physically see all the turbo lasers on it.
It was capable of disabling.
An entire fleet of Venators.
Yeah. It was in the first, practically the
It,
second episode of the show. So
it was it was involved
Yeah.
first season, first arc.
first start. Yep.
Here's a better side view of the ship. It's basically
You
a
know,
massively oversized Providence with two giant ion cannons.
to
Of
be
course,
honest,
we're gonna keep the ion cannons.
Mm-hmm.
prepare for the ion. Oh yeah, we should keep those. But the thing they should modify on it is the point defenses on it around the ion cannons, especially.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the defenses around the ion cannon should be a lot better.
Because that's what got it killed last time.
Yeah.
Yes.
As we could see,
As you can see if you go and watch the episode.
or you could see in this picture too.
True.
I forget if it had stealth features. Did it
No,
have
it didn't.
stealth
No, it did
features?
not.
It was good at striking. It left no survivors. That's why.
Most of the
Yeah.
time.
Most of the time, it left no survivors, so it pretty much seemed like it wasn't actually there for people when they looked for it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they even made a Lego version of it.
I can't believe
Yeah,
they did that.
I'm looking at a picture of the Lego version. I had this set. I remember that. Hmm.
There's even a mini scale version. Actually, now I want to kind of build that. I have the parts to do it. Just won't be in the same color scheme.
Yeah. Well, you can
Hmm.
see. Yeah. No, there's just a few things they could do to better that ship.
Yeah,
Like
Yeah.
better point
for a ship
defense.
for a ship that size, you'd think it would have more turbo lasers on it too.
Yeah.
It didn't have that many.
No, it didn't.
It had,
I think it only has up to 40 or 50.
yeah. That
Which compare that to like an Imperial Star Destroyer, which had 60 heavy turbo lasers and 60 ion cannons. This thing actually has pretty weak armaments.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't seem like it could perform well in battle when it doesn't have its ion
Ion cannons.
cannons.
All right. So I guess we'll go to Halo. Besides the Malevolence, since we just did it, what couple of ships would you modify?
Imperial 2.
Well, no, this is for the CIS.
Oh, the CI.
We're gonna do this by factions.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, a few people may not know this ship, but the Bulwark.
Oh yeah, the Bulwark. Which Mark?
Yeah, Mark II.
Okay, Bulwark. Mark Two.
Yeah.
This is a Mark Three. That's the Mark Three Dreadnought version.
That one was quite the one as well, but that's the Rebels had that one.
Yeah.
Ow.
Yeah.
That's the Rebel one.
As you can see, the Mark Two is massive,
It's a massive ship, yes, and it has great armor, but
but its armament's
it
lackluster.
it really lacked in its attacks. And but it
That's just
carried
the first one.
the only thing it really had was its fighter complement and armor. That's
Yeah,
what it
if I
had.
recall, it had a very nice armor complement.
Yeah.
I keep on finding Mark 1s and Mark 3s.
Yeah, there's-
Mark II, that's the
Here,
thing,
let's look at
Mark II,
Wikipedia.
That's the only other way you could look it up.
Yeah, but there's not much.
Wikipedia.
Wikipedia, yep. You get more information on just the Bulwark class as a family.
Yep.
But the
As a
best stats to get are from the Bulwark 1.
That's the thing about the Bulwark. It was just really known for its armor. And
Okay.
its carrying complement.
One,
Because
yeah,
it carried tons of fighters.
yeah. I think for Droid Starfighters, I think it carried over 100, didn't it?
It carried over 100. And most, even the Providence didn't even carry that many, believe it or not.
And that's honestly the ones.
Magnificence carried a lot of fighters on the outer hull.
Yeah, the frigates, province. No, not career.
And the bulwarks are very useful in taking hit.
Yeah, they could.
But they're lackluster in their armaments is what most of the time they couldn't do well against other ships. If
Yeah.
everybody else died in their fleet, they couldn't defend themselves really.
They needed support ships for anti-capital ship shit. Which I'm not gonna lie, they still had a moderate armament of turbolasers and proton torpedo launchers.
Yeah. But it just didn't do well against.
Let's say a Victory or even an Imperial Star Destroyer.
I don't
Wait a
think
minute.
most things didn't do well against victories, to be honest.
Well, yeah, they were built for a capital ship rolling, but still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they had. They lacked in armor though. That's their difference.
Wait a minute. I do have this question. We didn't clear this up. Are we going to be doing the First Order,
This
like the new ones?
we're gonna do the prequels, trilogy, and then the sequel trilogy.
Got it.
Sequel trilogy.
To be honest, though, we can't really do the Resistance because their ships are absolute shit.
Not their
Not
capital
all of
ships. Yes, their fighters are great.
Yeah, their fighters are great. It's just the capital ships that are just literal scrap
Yeah,
heaps.
Their Mon Calamari cruisers aren't bad.
That's the only thing they have that's good. The rest were scrap.
Those were
Quite
actually-
literally, they were scrap metal.
Literally, but their Mon Calamari cruisers were their best thing.
Yeah.
Which I do agree, those are very good ships. So.
One I would modify from the CIS is the Providence. And there's two versions of this. There's the regular carrier destroyer and there's a dreadnought version of this.
Which Trench had.
I would honestly take that and increase the point defensive system and have 2 layers of thermo shields.
Yeah, it had a good amount of turbo lasers on it. It just needed.
Yeah, and it had nice point defense too with the missiles.
Oh yeah, the missiles, but it needed better, to be honest. Besides missiles, you know.
Yeah, it needed some at least laser cannons.
Laser cannons would have done great on it, but missiles aren't really.
And I would also this thing has 30. The regular one has 36 proton torpedo tubes.
Yeah.
Honestly, I would trade at least half of, and the Dreadnought probably has double that amount since it's twice the size.
Yeah.
I would honestly trade at least half of those for additional quad turbo lasers.
Oh, fun fact. Providence classes were made by the Quarren.
Yeah, Mon Calamari, cousin species basically.
Yeah.
So.
And I'm not gonna lie, I do like the I don't know if you know Zomsu, and Halo. I think you know that Rebel Alliance actually captured one of these and modified it to hell.
Yeah.
As Rebel
they did.
1. Let's see if there's a picture of it somewhere in here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so Zomsu doesn't know it. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I do like, I understood why the Alliance modified it the way they did. Yeah, here it is. And I'm not gonna lie, for what they had, this was a smart idea. They made it much faster and much more maneuverable.
Yeah.
Another one I would modify is the Recussant Light Destroyer. That thing just needs some heavier shielding.
It needs a lot of things, but it was pretty good.
Firepower wise and maneuverability, it was fine. It's just the shielding was weak.
Its speed was actually its main factor, to be honest, though. It's
Yeah.
pretty fast for a capital ship.
Yeah, and its forward weapons aren't that bad. Though I do not approve of putting a heavy turbo laser battery underneath the bridge.
That's some things they do need to fix on some of their ships is their bridge locations.
Imperial Star Destroyers.
Oh, I'm glad they fixed that later on.
And here's another issue is right here. They need to really armor some of this midsection up.
Yeah.
Because, dude, like a good volley of proton torpedoes could just cut this shit in half.
Yeah. Well, no, that's the thing about a lot of their ships, they were made to be expendable, like their troops on the ground, except for the
Yeah.
Providence classes, which were built for hammerings.
Yep.
So. And
Oh.
bulwarks, which were built for hammerings, definitely.
All right. You do either of you have any more British ships you want to modify?
I think I see one.
You're trying to remember the name.
This one.
Or it's getting to him
Yeah.
very bad, or it's getting. I don't even say what he says. This one, I don't. I'm a little worried. I'm a little.
Oh, the supply
yeah.
ship. Oh, they're
Yeah, the supply ship.
yeah. There's so much you can do to modify that thing.
That just strip in the middle. That is so easy to blow up. Just a bomber comes, drops some proton bombs.
Right into the bridge. It's right
Yeah,
there.
that's the bridge.
You can literally you can destroy the whole ship that easily.
Would have been better
Just
if
by
it was a Lucre
dropping
Hulk.
like one proton bomb or shooting one proton torpedo.
At least Lucre Hulks are very armored compared to this version.
Yeah, especially in their bridge areas. I think this is a cheap version of a Lucre Hulk, is what it is.
We had to make some budget cuts, as you can see.
And then this, I wouldn't. If it depends on which version. We're talking about the actual battleship version of this. It's almost perfect.
Yeah.
If we're talking about like during the blockade of Naboo, this thing only had 40 quad turbo lasers, which I'm not gonna lie, that's impressive anti-capital ship armament.
But against fighters, well, I had a good fighter complement in it too, over 500. So I mean.
This thing can carry up to 1,000 droid fighters. If
Oh
fully.
yeah.
Ooh.
Oh yeah.
So as a starfighter carrier, this thing is the dream ship. It's heavily armed, heavily armored, very nice shielding, and it carries a massive complement.
All it would need to worry about is a very powerful capital ship arriving.
Eclipse.
And then there's this one.
Not even the Eclipse. Not even the.
Yeah, that's the Lucre Hulk we were just looking at.
Yeah, the
Yep.
Lucre Hulk.
Yeah, and the bridge you don't really know where it is. That's the thing.
No,
Yeah.
that's actually the thing. You think there's actually like 3 of them. There's one on top, one towards the bottom of the ball, and one like
One
towards
in
the center.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so this one was actually like decently designed.
Yeah, this one was more
Yeah.
intelligently designed when it came to its specs.
We had to make some budget cuts, so we designed.
So we
should
designed
listen
this
to them.
ball.
And a fun fact,
No,
the
this
actual
supply ship I was talking
Yeah.
about.
Oh no! It's just another guy just looks at it. That's not a ball.
Oh yeah, by the way, fun fact, if you watch episode 2, you can actually see these cores in the middle can actually be removed from the entire ship.
Yep, I remember
Yeah.
that.
Oh yeah, this is one of the things you don't really hear about is these droid carriers. Just scrap these. These are like a very, very cheap version of the Lucre Hulk.
Yeah.
Alright, so I guess we'll go on to the Galactic Republic during the Clone Wars. I guess I'll start this one. There's so much I can do to this Venator class Star Destroyer.
This is my Star Destroyer.
I'll admit, it has a massive fire complement of almost 500 starfighters.
Wait, what ship?
The Venator class Star Destroyer.
Well, no, it matters what fighters you had. If it was a V-wing, yes, it could have up to 500. But if
No,
it
I'm
was
saying
a-
its total capacity. I'm not saying of one type though. It can store many types in it. It's
Well, no, but at the same time, that means if they took out some of their ground vehicles in there as well. And
yeah, true. If you store nothing but starfighters, it's 500.
Okay,
One-
question.
Okay.
Which Venator class? Which,
the
like,
Mark
Mark?
1 and Mark 2. There is 2 different versions of the Venator. He is correct about that.
Yeah, but
The one used during the Clone Wars, which is the Mark 2.
yeah,
Got it.
I would honestly sacrifice at least a fourth of the fighter space to include a little bit more anti-capital ship weapons.
Yeah.
Because its only ones were, let me get a decent picture, 8 dual turbo lasers, 8 dual medium turbo lasers, proton torpedoes up in the front, and its point defense system is okay. 52 laser cans all over the ship. That's pretty fine. The point defense,
Anakin was pretty smart in upgrading his in a way where they
yeah, with the artillery,
Svaga.
yeah, with the
Svaga on the bottom.
with the self-propelled heavy artillery, basically welded to the dorsal hangar bay.
Yep, man, that could take out a ship in one shot. So
Another thing I would modify is this center hangar. You guys know how there's like the shield doors inside the hangar bay?
yeah,
I would rather have one like when the doors open, have one of those like all the way down. That way, so you can protect from kamikazes and stuff.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing they would fix later on, to be honest, with a lot of ships where they didn't have hangars,
Yeah.
just one area.
Because honestly, I think
In a
that would probably
in
be
a way-
smarter to do.
In a
Because
way,
when sorry, Halo, for cutting you off, but when the ship's hangars open like this, it's extremely vulnerable.
yeah, because a lot of its guns can't even fire as well. So.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Eh,
I've got
And another one is,
Republic ship we can talk about.
and another thing is, improve the deflector shields, especially on the bridge, because look how exposed this thing is. And if you watch
At least it's smart to have spare bridges, though.
yeah, if you watch
Yeah.
the Battle of Ryloth arc, yeah, it's a good thing these have dual bridges, but they're still pretty exposed.
Oh yeah,
Anyways,
Yeah, they're exposed.
that is not a lie.
all right, Zamsu, what's the one you want to look at?
The Acclamator class.
Oh, the Acclamator class assault ship.
They've done so much with that, though. To be
Yeah,
honest.
from the first iteration we see in episode 2, it was decently armed, could carry a shit ton. Later on in the Clone Wars, they made the Star Frigate version, which can actually put up a fight.
Well, I'm
They
talking
get
about
better
the
armor.
Acclamator 1 class.
Oh, the
Oh,
original
yeah.
transport.
Yeah.
I'll admit, it wasn't that bad. It had a couple of quad turbo lasers, proton torpedoes, and concussion missile launchers, and its own point defense system.
Yeah. At the
Yeah.
beginning,
So-
at the beginning, it was pretty decent ship. because
Yeah, it
they didn't
was.
Really because at the time around when they had, around Geonosis, they didn't have Munificence or Providences around there. They mostly only had Lucre Hulks
And the hard cells.
Yeah, the hard sails. Lucre Hulks and a few Corvettes. Forgot the name of them. What was the name of it? Crap.
I think it's like the Hammer Picket Corvette.
Yeah, something like that.
I'm not gonna lie. For these for transports, they're very well armed and armored and shielded, and they carried a crap ton. If you watch the original Star Wars Clone Wars, the Battle of Moonless, these things can actually carry a very nice complement of fighters if you modify them right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they were
tons of
pretty good.
gunships.
Yeah, they're a good multi-role ship.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. With a multi-role, you can do anything. Hence why hence why Zamasu says, you could update that. You could make that a stinking gunboat. Probably.
Yeah.
Which they had with the Mark II Star Frigate.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They took away a bunch. They took away a bunch of the storage capacity for additional weapons and shielding.
And that did a
Exactly.
lot better. That did.
Oh yeah, that thing can probably fight a province. That Mark II can probably fight a province head on.
Yeah.
Or if you play there's actually a fun fact. If you play the Republic Commando games, the one you go in is a Mark I. The one that comes to reinforce you is actually the Mark II,
Yeah.
which is more prone to actual capital ship fighting, and it wrecked a Lucre Hulk.
Oh yeah, because Lucre Hulks can only take so much. Even though they're a big
Yeah.
capital ship, they can't take hits.
They can't take that big hits, and if I recall, that was probably one of the regular trade federations, not one of the battleship versions.
That wasn't the battleship version. There
No.
was no way.
No, it went down too quick. The battleship one would
Yeah.
actually put up a
But to be
fight.
fair, the Republic ships were a little better than this.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
because
The
they weren't as
separatist
cheaply
ships.
made.
They're made to be
Yeah.
expendable. Halo, you got a Republic ship?
If I had to pick one, and I really hated this ship, I gotta think of the name of it. It's a capital ship only, right?
No, any ships.
Torrents.
Oh, the V-19 Torrent fight. I don't know why they made those things. They're ugly and they're ineffective.
They were so dumb to me. I just hated them whenever I saw them. If I was gonna design them, cut the wing size down. Really, just cut that down, and I would.
No, I would
probably
just
think
scrap the design and get a V-wing. I'd rather have a V-wing with ARC
V-wing.
170s.
V-wings were 20 times better though.
So are the
Oh, the torrent. Oh.
Yep, he went and looked it up.
Oh, I forgot this thing existed.
They had them for quite a while. I mean.
they have for like half of the show.
I just decided
Yeah,
to forget it existed because it was so bad.
When it showed it on screen, you just forgot about it.
I was like, I'm gonna ignore that.
It's like,
Yeah.
oh,
And
I'd rather have.
I felt bad for the clone pilots because those fighters were bad.
They had little armor, little shielding. Their firepower, I'll admit, wasn't.
It had
yeah.
good firepower.
Yeah,
I'll give it
two
that.
laser cannons and
Two laser
concussion.
cannons and 2 concussion missile
Yeah,
launchers.
yeah, that's the only thing good about it was its armament. But how could you hit it when it had like a 10-meter gap between its wings when it unfolded?
I know, seriously.
The guns were. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying the Headhunter was a way better replacement. With
Oh yeah, much more agile. Same amount of firepower.
How would I fix the turret though? Get rid of the guns on the wings. Put it in the center with the chassis. First off, cut down the wing size. Make it so it's more.
More low to the ground.
A little lower to the ground because how it was designed was just dumb to me. They didn't need the third wing. You could put the weapons in the middle with the chassis of it. You don't have to put it like that.
By the way, another fact: the company that made this also made the B-wing.
Yeah, the B-wing was way better though.
I know. I think they took lessons from the V-19. Like, we should probably do this.
We messed up pretty badly. Let's make something that's a multi-role that can fire in every direction. Yes, that's smart. And it's a bomber.
It's a bomber heavy fighter.
Yes, and it worked. That's thick. That works compared to stinking. I hated the torrent as soon as I saw it. I don't like.
It just got ugly. It's like, why?
No, even when I'm playing Empire at War, I refuse to use them.
You refuse to even build them.
I
Yep.
keep on forgetting some of these ships exist.
Yep, torrents were the worst. I just didn't like them. The V-19.
And this
I
is.
also forgot this one existed.
Yeah, until I
Peltic
brought
class.
the Peltic. Oh yeah, the
Oh, the Peltic class medical frigate.
Yeah,
that
I
wasn't
forgot that existed.
Yeah, there is a combat version which is not bad on the armaments. It's like light turbo lasers and laser cannons, which not bad.
But it was a
Medical frigate. So it had at least had some defenses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The ship.
One of the better starfighters the Republic ever produced.
Oh, good grief!
The Arc 170.
Arc 170 was one of probably the best.
That and the V-wing were the
Yeah.
best the Republic made. The Arc 170 could just defend itself.
The V-wing had shielding, and it was very small, maneuverable. Even vulture droids had issues hitting them because of how small they were.
Yeah.
Even tri-droids. And those are the fastest interceptors ever built out of the 4 factions.
They were compared to actual very good pilots because tri-droids would adapt, and they had issues adapting to them. So yes.
Yeah. And then
Well-
there was this ship,
Oh,
The-
good grief.
Alpha 3 Nimbus class V-wing
Nimbus-
starfighter.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the Nimbus wasn't bad.
Then you have something like the Arc 170, which is a very nice multi-role ship. It's a
It-
starfighter,
it was a good
anti-starfighter.
It was a good heavy bomb.
Heavy fighter.
Bomber.
Yeah, because
heavy
you got medium laser cannons here and here. It's got 2 light repeating ones towards the back, which you would never. That's the one thing that always miffed me in Star Wars is you're always gonna in a dogfight. You're always gonna have another fighter behind you. So why not protect your back? And that's what they did with this.
Yeah.
And that's why even tri-droids had issues with them. But they didn't. Even if you watch the movies, you saw they got killed. But that's
Yeah, I'll admit they're a little sluggish, even though they're just as fast as the X-wing.
Oh, the X-wing wasn't that fast though.
True, but the thing is, Incom was the one who they literally took a lot of designs, as you can see from the Arc 170, and put them in the X-wing, and improved.
Oh yeah, no. But that's the thing. The Arc 170 always performed with its sibling ship, the Headhunter.
And the V-wing.
Yeah, the V-wing.
Yeah.
The Headhunter was its pretty much the X-wing's grandfather in a sense. Besides the Arc 170, because the Headhunter looked literally like an early X-wing.
Yep. Here's the original art for it.
Yeah.
It looks like an X-wing without the S-foils.
Yeah.
Except the
That's all
Republic
about-
used this version, though. Which I really like that version. I think it's very practical. It's got a concussion missile launcher and 2 laser cannons.
And that's why.
And
it
it's very
performed well.
maneuverable.
That's why it performed well. We may not have seen them in the movies because there was a huge battle go. Of course, we saw a group of Arc 170s. They usually were in a bigger group.
Mhm.
Yeah. No. Did you know the Eta 2s were cheaper than the Delta 9s?
Yep.
Yeah.
And the Adas are much better. Except when it comes to the shields, the Deltas still have the shielding.
That's
Most Jedi
only-
removed the shielding from the Eddas for some reason.
Well, the Eddas perform so well.
Let's.
Okay.
Honestly, the one I'm thinking of, it applies to both the Empire and the Republic since they both used it.
Well,
The Dreadnought.
Oh.
Oh, the dreadnought.
Well, the Dreadnought didn't really come into later use, though. So.
No, the Republic still used them.
Oh, the Dreadnought class.
Yeah, you thought I was talking about something like the Executor.
Well, they had quite a few Dreadnoughts.
Well, the Republic's only real Dreadnoughts was the Mandator series.
Yeah, but the Mandator was.
And a Secutor.
Well, the thing is about the Dreadnought classes, that was used on both sides.
Yeah, it was used on all sides.
Yeah.
So this
Because,
counts for all of them. I mean, here's one that the Rebel Alliance made into an assault frigate, Mark 1.
But that's the funny thing is, it's like a really easily manipulated ship.
Yeah, it's very modular.
Yeah, you can do whatever the heck you want with it.
You can turn it into a freaking gunboat, which the Empire did. You could turn it into a Starfarer
Yeah,
carrier.
I got that one.
There was
I
one
got the
Jedi-
Imperial one right
There was
here.
one Jedi who put 10 of them together to be a colony ship.
Yeah, an outbound flight.
But that's gone. That blew up by Jango. No, actually, Thrawn blew it up.
Which I'm surprised those didn't separate from the main pod and engage, because I'm not gonna lie,
You would think those would act like escape pods too.
yeah, and I'm not gonna lie, these dreadnoughts are actually very nicely armed, armored, and shielded. They're very tough ships.
That's why every side's used them to this point.
And-
that's why they're very old.
Although I will admit the crew cost is ridiculous.
The crew cost how much?
It's 4,000. This thing's not even 800 meters long, and it requires almost 5,000 crew to use it to its fullest
well,
potential.
remember, older ship designs usually required more because look at
No. Even the upgraded ones still require that much, unless we're talking about Katana Fleet, which is mostly automated.
Well, you can take into consideration even in modern day standards with some ships.
Standard
like-
crew 16,000.
Yeah, no, but like let's say if we went to before they upgraded the Missouri battleships, you know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah.
Iowa battleships. Before they did that, it used to be crewed by 6,000 to 8,000 people. Now, once they upgraded them, now they're retired again. But once they upgraded them, they went way down to 1,000 crew. So I mean, you drop, and that Dreadnought class was taken into consideration. If it's not broke,
Don't fix it. Yeah, and this is
Yeah.
just the standard, like, one you find. 20 quad laser cans, 10 turbo laser batteries, which is at least 2 to 5 each. 10 laser cans, unknown number of ion cans. This was the upgrades with, I'm assuming the Empire. 20 light turbo, quad turbo lasers, 15 turbo laser batteries, 15 turbo laser cannons, and there's a command version with warhead launchers.
Yeah, so pretty much a
Yeah.
gunboat in a sense.
Yeah, basically a full-on capital ship brawler. The Rebel Alliance sacrificed some of the armaments for this one for additional speed, better shields.
Yeah.
I mean, it would make a better escape craft, to be honest.
Yeah, it would.
Considering what they were going through, they needed fast ships. That's what they relied on.
All right,
So they finally,
I guess we can move on to the Rebel Alliance.
oof.
Yeah, the rep. So many things to improve.
Tension 4s.
Oh, the CR-90.
Let's see. No! 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 The CR. I'll tell you in a second. I need to think for a minute.
The Tantive 4 is the CR-90.
Not the Tantu 4. Not them.
The fun.
The GR75. No.
Eh.
Dude, no. Why do they even bring them?
I mean, if you want to escape and set up a base quickly somewhere, I can understand. But as an actual like part of the fleet in a combat sense, why?
Every time we've seen massive fleet battles, you've seen tons of them.
If you watch Eckhart's Ladder, he goes into detail. Why do they bring these? Why?
I understand you need supplies, but good grief, wait till the end of the battle.
I know, seriously. And these
What they
things
could do-
modified can only hold 4 laser cans. That's it.
In my honest opinion, they should just scrap the whole ship.
Well, no, they shouldn't use them in a combat role.
They shouldn't at all. I mean, unless you're gonna make a new design of them, like where completely get rid of all the storage completely and just add weapons on it, then you have a good gunboat. But that's it.
Yeah, that's about it. Otherwise, this ship's completely useless unless you're just unless you're doing the rebels tactics of hit and run.
Yeah, hit and run with a bunch of these. Oh my gosh.
Oh,
Yeah.
I see. A medical
GR75.
frigate that could use a
Oh,
ton of improving.
well, here's the thing: the Alliance, it's the Nebulon B.
That could be the GR75 though. That could be because that was also a medical ship. Oh.
The Redemption Nebulon.
B. Well, here's the
Yeah.
thing: there's two different versions of the Nebulon B. The Alliance took one and converted it into an hospital. Originally, it was an escort ship which had actually
the
very
Nebulon
decent
does
armament.
need work. The
Yeah, but
Nebulon.
look at that very thin strip.
Yeah, that is.
Just shoot that.
Yeah.
That is.
Yeah, in my opinion, either put hull actual armor over that, or have like some of the strongest shields on the ship go there.
Yeah, because if neither of those are there, somebody just shoots that with a proton torpedo. Boom, your ship's in half.
Yeah, when it showed the scene in Return of the Jedi where there was one that was able to go against a
Star Destroyer?
cruiser.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
pretty
it's
sure
like-
that thing was getting wrecked.
Yeah, I was like,
Because
I was like,
just the
okay.
octuples alone could just
No,
barrage
I
this
was like-
thing.
No, but when I saw that, I was like, that's not even fair.
It isn't. Because if I recall, that was the medical frigate they converted, not an actual combat version. The combat version actually had a very
Well,
nice
no,
armament.
There was a lot more ships that actually there that they did.
Yeah, I know, but I'm talking about specifically the Nebulon B.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about the Nebulon B. They had combat versions there.
Yeah, it was which they actually had very nice armaments, 30 turbo laser batteries,
Still need
and a
those.
point defense and a very nice point defense system, which ironically is mostly centered around the giant freaking spire here.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure this is one of the battle ones, the Nebulon B2.
Oh
B2 was not bad though.
no, it wasn't, but it looks so stupid.
It really
does.
It's just the two wings sticking out. It's like, what
Yeah,
the fuck is
Alright,
this?
It's got a thin strip in the back, so
Oh, here's another version of the B2.
It's like they took the B and they went like, okay,
let's double it.
we're calling it the B2.
Why do you
What
want to call
can
it
we
the
do
B2?
to make it recognizable? Let's have two of those wing things.
Let's put 'em
Well, I'll
together.
admit though, if one bridge blows up, they still have another one.
I can't even. I don't even want to know because at that point when I saw those, I was like, oh good grief.
Yeah.
But it did perform better in combat situations. But other than that, it still needs that thin strip fixed. It really needs that.
It needs either armor or
thicker-
strong shielding there.
It needs thicker area. I mean, we can't speak bad about any certain ships in the Rebels like Mon Calamari cruiser.
Yeah, those things can take on an Imperial Star Destroyer no issue.
Yeah.
Because they have the
yeah.
shielding.
The fact about that is that's the one reason, and they had.
Though
good
I
weapons.
will admit, though, most of the Mon Cal ships were pretty underarmed.
Well, of course they didn't have much weapons at the time. They were, had to make them fast for the rebels.
True. And the one thing I always found weird is when you see all the Mon Calamari cruisers and stuff, it's like, why the hell did the Empire not blockade them? The Mon Calams.
Well, you also gotta remember they probably had different locations they were building them at.
True, and since Mon Cal cruisers are very tough, Mon Calamari probably had its own defense fleet.
They probably broke through the blockades at many times because those ships weren't small. The MC-80s, Liberty types were. Those
Yeah,
things could
those.
wreck. Listen.
And then the Home 1 sites, which were the more battleship-oriented ones.
Yeah, which was
Yeah.
more that could fire at everything. Everything.
Yeah, and
Everything.
the cool thing is that I actually found out not long ago, they can actually adjust the speed of the turbo laser fire rate to act as also a point defense system,
Mhm.
which I found really cool.
They were pretty smart with their weapons. So.
Mm. And of course, they did the first actual designated warship version with the MC-90, which that thing could take on an Imperial 2 every day of the damn week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if we. If
It was
we-
literally built to fight them.
If we were able to see the one from Last Jedi, and I know that Mon Calamari.
The MC-85, I believe it's called.
Yeah, the 85 was massive.
Yeah, it's...
Yeah, that thing.
But sadly, when the Resistance got it, they had pretty much taken out all the weapons.
Yeah.
Because
This thing in itself is already a dreadnought, to be quite honest. It only had 20 of its original weapons. 20 turbo lasers.
The only thing that the Mon Calamari cruiser could not protect against was the Death Star.
Well, yeah, nothing's protecting you from that.
Well, yeah, but that's
Yeah.
that. I mean, but they had a very good thing where they could heat up their boost their shields to the point where their ships were invincible. And
To conventional fire, but don't forget the Death Star generates so much freaking power from the blast. It'll tear through the shielding.
But what I was gonna get at was that even even after that was done, their shields were still up. Like if it went back to normal.
Yeah.
Their shield generators didn't burn because they were smart about it.
Mhm.
They just knew what they were doing, really.
Yeah, but one of the ones that I would probably modify.
There's still quite a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah, the Rebel Alliance, you could basically modify almost every single
Yeah.
ship.
the Quasar Fire class cruiser carrier.
Oh, that one.
I'll admit it's not a bad small time cheap fire carrier, but its only armaments are light dual laser cannons. That's it.
Yeah.
I would definitely give it at least 2 or 3 turbo lasers, so it has some defense against smaller capital ships, such as like a Carrack or an Arquitens.
Yeah, our Quintons though were actually very good.
Yeah, they're very good. They had 2 dual medium turbo lasers. Actually, no, 2 heavies, 2 mediums on the sides, and concussion missile launchers. Which
Well, it mattered in the version because they actually, in some cases, they had 4 heavies, 2 on the top, 2 on the bottom.
actually, yeah, I think I was wrong on that. I think most of the time they have
Well,
those.
remember, there's many different variants of it though.
Yeah, but the most common one has the concussion missile launchers, and some are even modified to hold TIE fighters.
That was the later Imperial ones where they got rid of the side guns though. That's weird.
Yeah.
To hold the TIE fighter. No. Rebels wise, they need to fix their Y-wing.
Honestly, I think the Republic era one would have done the Rebel Alliance better.
Oh no, it was that one, but they decided to take off its armor to give it a slight speed boost.
Which honestly, they probably could have done. They just salvaged better engines.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. That was just a bad idea.
Yeah, here's the Republic version, and then
Much
here,
better armored.
and then you get the Rebels, and the secondary turret is automated by the astromech.
Well, no, don't get me wrong. That's a better feature in it, but armor.
Yeah,
Where did it go?
the reason they did is because it's easier for maintenance. Yeah, here's one that's here's one that's armored.
Oh no, don't get me wrong. It's easier for maintenance, but at the same time, you have an easier chance of flipping dying.
Yeah, because they can get an easier shot into the actual power generator of the ship.
Yeah.
And the armor was made to be modular, so it'd be easy to do maintenance.
Yeah. That's how the armor works.
Yeah,
The
here's
armor-
here's one that the Rebels use that actually has armor and it actually looks very good. Not gonna lie. And then you just got this butchery. You go from this, which is very nicely armored, because most of the time, if these things crash landed, the pilots actually survived most of the time.
That's what they need to
Yeah.
fix. Is the rebels needed to add more armor.
Yeah,
And
they
it had-
turned the Y-wing into a skeleton.
Let's
Yeah.
skeletonize it so it can die.
But there's nothing as bad as the ugly starfighters, like the
Oh.
TIE wing, where it's the center of a TIE fighter with the Y-wing engines.
I remember that. Oh my goodness. Those were real starfighters too.
They were. This is just asking to die. Their nickname is Die Wing.
Now, then they had the other one, which was reverse of that, where it had the Y
Yeah.
Y-wing center and had the tie ties sides. That was a lot better. That
Yeah.
actually is pretty good.
Yeah, it can actually gain speed, but this thing, what the fuck is that?
I understand the rebels were having issues.
No, this wasn't Rebels. This was pirates that use these.
I understand it's hard to find good starfighters out there, but good grief.
But here's one good one they did. The what is this? The TIE X-wing. They took the wings of an X-wing and put it on a TIE fighter chassis. with the
Yeah,
engines
but-
and all that. That's understandable because that gives it increased speed and actual better armament. But this tie wing, why? Just why?
Why?
It was a beautiful creation, okay?
No, it wasn't. It was asking for death.
I'm ready to die.
Yeah, like I'm ready to die.
Oh, remember, these are pirates we're talking about.
I know. Still, so wait. If you can salvage parts from you can salvage the chassis and the wings from the TIE fighter. How can you not salvage the fucking chassis and the wing and the damn engines for the Y-wing and have either? You can salvage part of these, but you can't get the whole ship. How does that make sense?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they had to.
You cheap fucks.
I guess they had to get their cannon fodder killed easily. Let's get our cannon fodder in there, boys. Oh, they're already dead.
Well, shit.
I
Well, at least we don't have to pay them.
I understand the discussion to get ships better. That thing doesn't need to exist.
No, this thing does not need to exist. This needs a bird in a hell pit.
No, the Y-wing just needs arm. It just needs its Clone Wars era self. That's all it needs.
Yeah.
That's all it.
With the automated turret.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, though.
Yeah.
I guess now we can move on to Imperial, and I'm pretty sure all of us have so many ideas to improve those
Oh,
things.
I have one. I'm
But-
not sure if this one may or may not need improving, but we can see if there's anything to improve. The Executioner class.
Oh, the
Yeah.
Executor.
Executor. Whatever.
Needs more bridges.
No, that bridge needs to be sunk more into the cities. Actually, that's the biggest problem in my opinion is that damn cityscape in the middle.
No. Give me, no.
Just
Get-
that.
Listen to me when I say it needs more bridges, cause that one bridge gets taken out and they died.
Yeah, but that's a common flaw in all Imperial Star Destroyer types. Is the
I know.
overexposed bridge?
Yes, that's why they need to go where their sequel trilogy family members went. And
Yeah, the
fight
Resurgence.
these ones.
And have a
The Resurgence.
secondary built deep inside.
Yes,
Yeah.
because the Executioner when it Executor when it did that, I was like, are you kidding me? Did they not have a spare bridge on the ship that large?
And another,
When
and
you have a ship that large, you can fit 4 bridges in there.
no, you can fit 400. And another modification is take away that cityscape because it interferes with the firing arc of the fucking weapons. I mean, this thing for pound, was the best anti-capital ship the Empire could make. Over 5,000 turbo laser and ion cannon batteries. And again,
Personally, I would take a Tector
yeah,
because Tectors had better weapons and had better armor. Because
yeah, but they still lacked point defense and fighter complement.
Well, no, they literally lacked fighter complement because they
Yeah.
got rid of that.
Yeah, they added extra armor, but
They got rid of the hangar base so they could fit more guns.
and more armor.
More armor.
But
And more armor.
But I'm talking about as a Star Dreadnought, the Executor is one of the best pound for pound.
Even though it can get destroyed by.
Well, here's the thing though: the Alliance fleet had to focus everything they had onto that thing.
Oh yeah, because they may have been flying into the Imperial fleet, but they were focusing mainly on the Executor.
Yeah, and the Executors have incredibly tough shields and hull, and not to mention weapons to boot.
Oh no, I know it does. But there are 2 ships that we're not going to really discuss that could just 2 of them could take on the Executor and win. So
Eclipse and Sovereign.
no, 2 Resurgence.
Oh, you've seen that episode from Eckhart's Ladder?
Yeah, no. The Executor may have its advantages, but at the same time,
So
it just needs to get rid of that cityscape, like you said first off.
Yeah, because it interferes with the total arc
And
of the
it needs a
weaponry.
better fighter complement.
Well,
because
here's
that's
the thing.
awful.
Well, here's the thing. They say it carries 144, but it can technically hold thousands.
Oh yeah, but they just choose not to.
Yeah, just choose not to, because usually, and I'm not gonna lie, these Executors are never usually alone. They always have a support fleet with them.
Usually. But
Either Star Destroyers of any type, Imperial 1s and 2s, sometimes
But you would think
Victories.
When they were defending the Death Star 2, they would have had more than just one Executor there, because we all know they had more than.
Yeah, they had, if we're talking about Legends, they had 13 of these things built.
And even in New Canon, they had way more.
Why
Well,
didn't
they
they
have-
put all 13 around it?
I know, not the and this is my personal opinion about the fucking Battle of Endor. You do not need that many Star Destroyers. You need more support craft.
Because the rebels mainly focus on fighters.
Which
Yay!
which dominate your, especially Imperial 2s, which had no point defense systems whatsoever.
Oh, I mean,
Literally-
if you read the book, they actually had more than just Imperial 2.
Yeah, if you read the they actually had the carriers, they had lancers, they actually had carracks, they actually had stuff that was good for anti-fighter purposes.
Yeah,
But in the movies, they don't see shit.
But the Executor does need its work to be done.
Yeah.
It's too thin too, in my opinion. It may be
Yeah.
huge, but it looks like you can poke an eye out with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But if you had 13 executors surrounding the Death Star 2, it
Yeah.
probably wouldn't have gotten blown up.
Yeah.
If not, the Alliance fleet would be destroyed much quicker. Because the overwhelming firepower of these damn things.
Oh, you gotta remember, good guys always win, guys.
Plot armor.
And
Plot armor.
I'm assuming all of us would mention this.
Imperial 2.
Both of the Death Stars.
Oh, bad ideas from the start.
Yeah, wasted
Yeah.
resources. Dude, they could literally. The Empire with the first one alone could have built 23,000 Imperial 1 and 2 Star Destroyers. Or,
That was what Thrawn had an idea for. Stop
Yeah,
wasting
or-
the weaknesses on this and
not only
start
just
building
those,
more
also
cool
at least.
battleships.
Yeah,
That's
also
why
at least.
Thrawn was the best. That's why.
Well, that's
Thrawn
why
was
he's
the best
focusing on
admiral.
fighters in his project, the Defender, for frick's sake.
Yeah, the TIE Defender, I'm not gonna lie, is the pinnacle of TIE fighter design. It's
Yeah,
Well,
I
the-
mean,
perfect in almost
besides-
every way.
Well, besides its later sequel trilogy, The Silencer, but
Yeah, which was inspired, quote unquote, inspired by the TIE Defender, but no, I say it's more off of the TIE Avenger.
well, no, it's
Yeah,
like
I
a mixture of the two.
mean-
It's like a mix.
I mean, why waste your resources on one small thing the size
No,
of
let's
the
make it.
moon?
Let's make the Death Star 2 and make it bigger.
And
Yeah.
better. I'll
You know,
admit,
Be
bigger
honest, if it
porthole.
had, let's be honest. If it had been completed, it would have been unstoppable because it wouldn't have had that weakness. Like
and
the
not
Death
to,
Star
and not to
had.
mention they upgraded its defense system too. They actually gave it point defense.
Yeah, that's why the fighters had to go to the weaker sections during the battle.
Yeah, that's why they had to
Yeah.
void every other section except for the ones that are under construction.
Yeah, mainly.
Oh yeah, Halo, if you can see my screen, there you go. There's a TIE Defender First Order Edition.
Yeah, boy. Wait, you're not share screening.
Yeah, I can do that real quick. So you
And
guys.
once we get to the First Order, we can talk about Star Killer Base.
Yeah, well, no, let's
Let's not!
Star Killer Base was just pretty
A-
much
a
what
bad
they
idea.
already-
It
Yeah,
was
where they-
really just a planet-sized,
Death Star. It was the Death Star Mark III.
It pretty much was.
except it could destroy a solar system.
Which I'm not gonna deny. Here's the thing I found stupid. They didn't have a fleet around it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they had probably 3 Star Destroyers there.
And whatever fire
They
complement
should
it
have
had.
had three. They should have had
Oh,
four
no, don't get-
dreadnoughts.
Don't get me wrong. Their fighters are 10 times better, but
They should have had 4 dreadnoughts around it.
No, no,
there's a
no. Here's what they should have done. They should have had their entire fleet around that thing.
yeah. They should have.
They could have fit their entire fleet around that thing.
Easily. Even with the Supremacy. Just sitting right there.
Well, the
Yeah, just put
Supremacy
the
was a flipping shipyard. It could just be pumping out ships.
Yeah, it could literally be dropping dreadnoughts.
Mhm.
Or preferably the Resurgence, because they're better all rounder.
Yeah, resurgence.
Resurgent classes, in my honest opinion, is what the Imperial 2 should have been.
Or at least the Imperial 3.
No, all Imperial classes should have been. Because Resurgent classes are actually capable of point defensing and capable of destroying many capital ships by themselves with 1,500
En-
turbo lasers.
Enhanced turbo lasers by Kyber crystals.
Yeah, because they're a lot smarter.
Another one I would take from the Empire is the Praetor 2 class battlecruiser.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh.
The thing, my issue is this thing is severely underarmed for its size.
Yeah.
It can compete with an Imperial 1, but not an Imperial 2. I would definitely just
It has a
upgrade.
less-
As
Even
what?
though the Praetor was massive.
It just
It
had.
has a less exposed bridge, but
Yeah, well, here, this is the Mark 1. As you can see, they did have an overexposed bridge. But with the Mark 2, they fixed that. The bridge is right here. The bridge is right
the
here,
question
where my
is,
mouse
why
is.
didn't they do that with the other ships?
I don't know.
Because budget cuts, man. Think about the budget.
But here's the thing. I would not only want to upgrade the complement this thing has, also give it more. I would give this thing octuple barbettes. And I'll admit though, the Praetor 2 has very, very long range for its weapons. Surprisingly, I mean like really long range. This thing can outsnipe an Imperial 2.
Oh yeah,
know
the
what
lar-
would
that,
complement-
that's the thing it acts as. It acted as actually a pretty big carrier that carry a lot of troops around because it had already made bases on the Praetor too.
Yeah, they have prefabricated bases in this thing. I think it can hold up to 3 of them.
Yeah, and
It was, I believe, like a fourth of the size of the
its
Executor.
and its weapons could snipe. So I mean,
Yeah. And this thing actually had a very good point defense system, surprisingly. Like, I mean, is almost as good as the Crusader gunship,
yeah,
which had laser point defense.
Man, I just thought of something.
Hmm.
You wanna know what would complement the Executor with its? If you made it thicker and stuck an EMP weapon on there.
Oh, like an ion cannon, or actually do what they were gonna do with the Bellator and add a mini super laser on top of its already arm. Oh,
As
Yeah,
much
because
as-
it's really
as much-
long.
as much
Why
as-
not just stick an ion cannon in there?
Yeah, no. As much as people say the Eclipse was great and awesome, it had its big flaws too. It had
its armament was garbage.
it was. That's why it wouldn't do well.
And here's something you actually never expect from a dreadnought this size. It was actually very fast for a dreadnought, the Bellator.
Yeah.
Yeah,
had
the
good op-
Bellator
it had
was pretty good.
Yeah, it was a good all-rounder. I mean, as you can see, it actually had multiple deflector shield generators all over the place, surrounded by armor and point defense. It had a very nice, like, actual complement, too. Its firepower is equal to the Executor.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
Which just shows you that you can have something as good as the Executor or slightly better,
yeah.
And
but
smaller.
Yeah, this was smaller, but it packed as much firepower, had better shielding and armor, and was much faster.
I figured as much. That's just how.
I never understood why they didn't mass produce these instead of the Executors.
Well, because at the time, you gotta also take into consideration they just played it by intimidation. They didn't. Think
Yeah,
about
they also did it. A lot of these were experiment like testing out. Yeah, like here's the Bellator. Look at all those weapons.
Mhm.
I can easily tell these are either dual like heavy or quad heavies. Maybe some octuples built in here of turbo lasers.
That's why the Imperial 2s were scared because they had a lot of octuples. They had a-
Well, no, they only had 8 of them, but they had over 120 turbo lasers.
yeah.
Speaking of which,
Yeah.
I think the Imperial 2, there's a lot all 3 of us can do to it.
Yeah, but before we talk about that one, I see a ship. The
That's sick.
Harrower class dreadnought.
Oh, from the old Republic?
Yeah, that one.
Believe it or not.
Well, there's 2 iterations of it. There's this one, there is a Howler 2, which sacrifices the middle hangars for more weaponry and armor.
Yeah, which personally is a good idea.
Yeah, but the Howler 1 is a very good carrier dreadnought hybrid.
Yeah, it's got turbo laser batteries,
Uh,
quad laser cannons, ion cannons, proton
That-
torpedoes,
that's how
and
big
concussion missile launchers.
Big ships used to be in the old Republic days.
Yeah,
the
yeah,
new-
I don't know why the
Old Republic ships were just, in general, better.
well, have more
no, they
common
weren't
sense.
better. Well, back in the day, yeah, they were more common sense, but
Because,
They
like,
have,
Right here, there's the main bridge right there. It's exposed, but it's not overly exposed like you would see on an Imperial.
yeah. And to complement it, it had 95 starfighters.
yeah.
It had a Mark. It had a Mark. I think that's Mark 6 supremacy.
However-
fighter.
Mark 4 supremacy fighters.
However,
four,
if the ships
32
if the ships were
B-28
to fight, the
Extinction
technology gap
class
alone
bomber.
would.
Hold on, I can't hear you, Halo, over Zamsu.
It's alright. It's alright. Oh no. Well, what I was saying was that even though yes they were a lot more better in design wise, they still wouldn't do well against the Imperial 2.
Yeah,
and stuff.
yeah. When we're talking about like
The
conventional
technology gap.
firepower, the Imperial 2, as a capital ship, is probably the best pound for pound.
Yeah.
Now, if you took a Haru class
And
gave
retrofitted it.
and gave it like the
Just take the Mark 2.
I'm blanking on the name.
Take the Mark 2. Upgrade this thing with. This thing already has like quad turbo lasers and all that.
Or you
Give
take
this thing
the
up.
original, or you take the original one and give it first order tech.
Oh yeah, that would break it. That would just literally.
Same with the
break
Imperial. Honestly, I think if I'm honestly surprised the First Order didn't try to use the Bellator as an actual instead of that fucking Mandalorian 4 piece of shit.
Most of the troops, if you gave them first order tech, would be great.
Who he agrees that we all have to agree. As much as people don't like a lot of the new Star Wars movies, the technology is great.
Yeah.
But what
And
the fuck
this-
is this?
That's the Dreadnought.
I know. Why?
It looks like a Vindicator. If it
It does. A flattened
it looks
Vindicator.
like a pizza slice.
if it had steroids and got two big guns on the bottom.
Yeah, it's two big guns. Its point defense system's absolute shit, and its actual anti-capital stuff is here and here. This thing does not deserve to be called a dreadnought.
It's
It has a
huge.
literal giant weak spot that if you just drop a couple of
Proton.
if you
Actually, it has
drop
two of 'em.
bombs on it, it gets destroyed.
Yeah, Zomsu, there's
Mine-
two. One's the bridge and the reactor's right here.
Those proton bombs have
Yeah,
three
the
times.
reactor is on top.
Yeah, I don't know who was thinking of that though. I'm not
And-
gonna defend the
and
ship there.
And the orbital guns, why? If you put them on top of the ship and have them for an anti-capital ship role, I would say okay, but they specifically for planetary bombardment.
I mean, they
How
could do
about you
that.
put
They
two
could
on the
really just
bottom
do
and
that
two
with
on the
bomb.
top?
They could use those as anti-capital ship weapons. That would have
You
been
could
awesome.
put two on the top for anti-capital ships while firing two at a planet.
True. It would have been that easy.
And upgrade the point defense and add more turbo lasers. I mean, come on, the Resurgence is basically perfect when it comes to a battle cruiser.
Oh yeah, I'm surprised the Resurgence didn't do anything when the Dreadnought was being attacked though, which kind of bugged me. I was like, why are you just sitting there? Kill them.
You have the point defense, and you definitely have the fighter complement.
It's because they went like, it's
Yeah.
not gonna get destroyed.
Oh wait,
Yeah, they
Oh,
got.
shit, it just got
they,
blown up.
they got this. They got this.
They got the oh shit, it's blown up.
and then
Oh, this thing.
the supremacy.
Supremacy-
Why? It is.
It's not bad.
It got destroyed by something going into light speed on it.
Which, by the way, how come no one else in any other movie or show has thought of that?
Well,
Yeah,
also,
exactly.
like to take note, the rebels didn't have the funding to constantly ram ships and big stuff. You know that?
No, I'm saying in general, though. Why has no one else thought of that?
Because you know how much hyperspace engines cost.
Actually, they're fairly, with as common as they are, they're probably fairly cheap.
Oh no, but they're not as cheap as you think. Like hyperspace engines for capital ships were not cheap. That's the thing that costed the most in a capital ship.
Yeah, here's all the
Yeah,
mandators.
And it matters the size of the ship that
Mandator,
rams. If you
Bellator.
were to do
Yeah,
that with
Mandator.
Then that.
if they were to ram the Mon Calamari cruiser from Return of the Jedi into the Death Star, it would have not have done anything.
Actually, it would have if it was in a specific range.
If it was at a far range, but it wasn't. So.
Yeah.
But the supremacy, as much as yes, I understand the hate for it, but at the same time, it actually wasn't a bad ship. It was just
Yeah.
its use. Because think about it, it acted as a mobile shipyard.
Yeah, it was a very good multi-role place. It's just the
Yeah.
size. My biggest issue is just the size of it.
Well, the size of the shipyard.
Imagine
It
if it
made
could
Star
somehow-
Destroyers and armies. It made a lot of stuff. It made
Yeah,
everything.
but the thing is, the defense fleet for it was really small. It's only 12 Resurgents.
Yeah,
Yeah,
which
take
I
an
don't get.
exception.
I don't get why the Resurgence didn't go in the front though. That's the only gripe I'll agree with you there because I'm like,
Yeah.
why aren't they in the front? Why aren't they?
Yeah, and this would be great. Take an executor, give it resurgence tech, make it as good as the resurgence, put a couple of them on the supremacy.
Oh,
Yeah, that would be a better fleet. Yeah, and it literally the wingspan is literally 3 executors long.
Yeah, and
Yeah, that means you could have two
that's the
executors in there. Or
That's
two
the di-
executors in each wing,
Oh,
or
they could-
three.
That's the diameter of the.
Yeah, that's the
the
wingspan.
ship.
Yeah, that's the fucking wingspan of this thing. Like I said, it's just the size is my biggest
Well,
issue.
no,
That's
no,
it.
No, I get if it was staying in the back, pumping out, resurging classes, but it was out in the front, and I was like, why? I was like,
The Resurgents are built for frontline capital ship brawling.
I didn't. I never
Yeah, the
understood.
Supremacy is more of a support ship.
I'll admit the
That
Supremacy
just
does have the.
swaps out things.
I'll admit the Supremacy has the best weapons the First Order can put forward.
Don't ask about how it's arcing people because I don't even know.
Well, when they were towards the planet, that was understandable because they were near a gravity well.
Yeah, but when it was just arcing when they were firing.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the fuck that was about.
I can't even defend that. But
No.
other than that,
Oh, by the way, Zombie, you brought this up.
Yeah, you gotta
Yeah.
blame movie logic. You gotta.
Starkiller Base, Death Star 2. Yeah, here's the Death Star 1. The Death Star 2 is so much fucking bigger.
It
Yeah.
was. It was so much bigger.
It was so. They went like, hey, we made this the size of moon. Let's make it the size of fucking planet.
They literally made it almost 3 times the size.
And
You
then
know-
they went like, hey, Star Destroyer 2 didn't work.
The Death Star,
Star.
Death Star 2 didn't work, so let's turn a whole planet into a super weapon.
What? No, they turned a star into one.
No, it's a planet.
Oh, I thought it fed off stars.
It feds off stars by itself as a planet.
The ironic thing is when it blows up and it makes a sun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And people are like, "Oh, it's another episode 4." I'll admit, there's a lot of similarities, but there is some differences.
The Death Star 2. No, I'm gonna note this here. It would have been better, but they wasted so much more resources on it than the Death Star 1.
Yeah.
Because they made it 3 times the size.
No,
It's
but
gotta
here,
get bigger.
but here's the thing, though. They built it in way less the time. It took them 20 years to build the regular one, but it only took them 3 to build the 2, and it was like 85% complete.
Oh,
yeah. It's because they actually knew how to build one now.
Let's make it bigger, boys. What?
What? Don't you think that's a good? No, it's always. Don't you think that's a bad idea? No, it's always a good idea. But sir, that means it's gonna be more exposed if they catch us off guard before it's complete. Make it bigger.
It's kind of like Adolf Hitler with the P-1000 Rat and the P-1500 Monster.
Yeah, he wanted to make super tanks when, even though it turned out that's why they made them like the Germans, ironically. The Empire.
Yeah,
I mean, their troops were literally named after World War One
Stormtroopers.
Stormtrooper.
Seen a stormtrooper?
Stormtrooper.
No, don't get me.
Stormtrooper.
Don't get me wrong. That's the Empire. The First Order at least got better with what the Empire didn't. I mean, but at times it was worse. At times it was way.
When it comes,
Yeah, they actually made it where their
Star
troopers could.
Destroyers. Yeah. No,
where-
their troopers
and they
were
made it where
20
their
times
troopers could
better.
see.
yeah, their
They're
troopers were way better,
They made it where they could actually see out of their helmet.
so they could actually hit crap.
Well,
Yeah.
also they trained them a lot better.
Yeah, they actually took tips from the clones and trained them from basically birth.
Well, another thing is, as much as
Kidnap a
we
child,
rag
train it.
on the Empire's stormtroopers, at the same time they weren't actually that bad. It's just the movie logic.
Yeah, it's just all the plot armor.
Yeah,
And the ones on the Death Star were ordered not to kill him.
Yeah, so no, but the Empire's ships get 10 times better over time. Like the Imperial 2. The Imperial 2, as much as it had flaws, it was still used 200 years later in Legends because
Yeah.
it was still very good anti-capital. The Wuzon Vong actually is scared of the Imperial 2.
Yeah, and here's a little fun fact about the Yuzhong Vong as well. The Yuzhong Vong really feared the droidicas more than any type of droid.
Super battle droids as well.
And if I recall, they even ran into the B3.
Yep, the B3, there's actually 2 versions of that, believe it or not. There's one that had lightsaber proof armor, and one that was that large one.
Yeah, the Ultra, not the Cortosis.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, guys, we are getting sidetracked.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, but
We've gone back to prequels.
Back to prequels, man. I mean, the prequels had their crappy ships. Torrent.
that just got ugly. He's like, ugh.
No, the Nightmare is the best. I hated the Torrent so much. Oh, I just hate the sight of it too.
I decided if we're gonna have existed.
That's how bad it is, though.
It is. You're just like, why? Why would you waste the money, the resources, and the manpower on that thing?
I mean, it's
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 literally a death sentence. It's like,
DR-75 bad. I'm not saying stuff.
If I had
literally
to,
a death sentence. It's like, okay, so what am I gonna be going in today? Am I gonna be going in this fire? This
Nope.
amazing like Nimbus? Nope,
Nope.
you're going the torrent. But
No,
so I'm gonna die. Nope, you're going the torrent.
God damn it!
Get in the torrent.
I don't wanna. I don't. I just don't.
I'd say screw it. I would say screw it. I'm going AWOL. Fuck you.
I would
Yeah,
rather take
no.
an LAT. I would rather take an LAT.
Into a starfighter battle.
Well, that thing at least can fight starfighters as well.
Yeah, because it has what 3 laser cannons, 2 on the front, 1 on the back, and
Yeah.
4 ball turrets, and mass driver missiles.
Yeah. That's the thing.
The only issue is it's slow as fuck.
Well, yeah, it would be slow, but who would want to fly torrent over that?
No. I'd rather fly a TIE fighter.
TIE
I'd rather
fighters.
take a.
No. Actually, Halo. If I had a choice between a TIE bomber and a V-19, I'd choose the TIE bomber.
I'd rather take a. I'd rather take a flying reprogrammed droideka than the torrent.
No. I'd rather take a TIE wing.
I'd rather take a
Oh,
than a
why the tie wing?
It's either it's opposite. It's either the TIE wing or the V-19. Pick your poison.
I'd blow them both up. I'd go into it just in my armor, like I hope I survive.
Soldier, you're not even a ground trooper. I'm gonna wear this.
I've got this. Just jumps into the vacuum of space.
I got this.
E11 in space or DC-17.
Just got like an E11 in space, like.
I got this.
I got this, sir.
Gets
I'm
rammed
better
in-
than the torrent.
Gets rammed in the face by a TIE interceptor. It's like, hi, Bob.
No, like doesn't get hit by it, but jumps on top of the TIE interceptor, rips out the pilot, and goes in it himself.
It's like this is my. It's like I'm pulling a Halo on you, jackass. Gimme.
This is mine.
Hacks the vulture droid like Base did.
Yeah, just cuts it open, somehow rewires it.
Mine.
Mine.
Mine. No. Words of a Jew. Mine. Mine.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, then the Raditz, not the MC-75. What the fuck is this? Why?
What is that?
Actually, that's not actually a bad ship. That's an
It's
MC-65.
It's not. It's not that. No, MC-75.
It's MC-75. My bad.
Not bad. It's just this thing right here, where the bridge was.
Oh, you
Shoot
mean
that.
like the Nebulon B?
Yeah, similar issue to the. Speaking of Nebulon, beads right there.
I forget. What is the purpose of that thing on the bottom? What is it?
That's the bridge.
Why? You talk about the Imperials having overexposed bridges. Look at that thing.
What is that? Tell me.
You
Overexposed.
miss the main body. You accidentally take out the bridge.
Though I will admit though, from a tactic point, if the enemy is hitting like directly in front or above you, they can't really hit the bridge.
And a
But if they're
technical-
attacking you from below,
You're fucked.
You know that's just the and let's be honest here. The Empire isn't dumb. They will find the bridge. They will be like, oh, there's the bridge.
The
because
Imperials
it's
have
very
over.
obvious where the bridge is on the Republic fighters.
Oh,
Yeah.
look at this. Hey guys, look what I found. What? It's the
Come-
bridge. They don't know.
Banzai!
Yeah, no.
Hey guys, look! I found their bridge. I've got this TIE fighter. It's full of bombs.
There actually
Ram it into the ship.
now there actually was something called the TIE bomb. It was an automated TIE fighter that is literally suicide bomb.
Isn't there?
Exactly.
There's also TIE droids. So I mean.
Well, the TIE droid interceptors were for interception.
Well, yeah, but they performed very well. They made the
They did.
vulture droids look like
Yeah, here's all the TIE variants you'll ever see in your life.
a lot of these are not canon, so mind
Yeah.
you, a lot of these.
The only ones that really are the TIE fighter, the bomber, the interceptor,
Defender.
and the TIE scout actually is canon too. It's in
Oh,
one.
yeah.
Yeah, it's in one of the books, and the X1
Oh, no,
obviously.
And And we're seeing
And
a new one in the
Vaders.
and we're seeing
Yeah,
a new
X1.
one in the solo film. I'm
What-
not kidding. We're actually seeing a new one in the solo
Which
film.
I'm honestly, I'm hoping it's the TIE Avenger.
Well, yeah, and it looked actually pretty interesting. So I was like,
Yeah, right here is the TIE bomb, the TIE Experimental Mark IV.
that some stuff is just dumb, And then
I mean, some like the TIE Hunter, that's a good one. TIE Phantom, that's another
Wait,
good one.
what's that third one I see? What is that?
Oh, this thing. Oh, the TIE Bizarro.
What
Here,
is that?
here's their concept. They said screw the laser cannons and put a turbo laser on it.
yeah, it was interesting.
It's literally one wing with two things on each side.
Yeah.
Which one's the turbo laser?
The far left.
I mean,
It looks like what the thing the person's gonna be in. What if they accidentally shoot the one that has the person in it when they meant to shoot the turbo laser?
There we go. We're not gonna kill the enemy. Fire at the weapon. I think we hit the person.
I'm not gonna lie, the TIE Interdictor really like misled me with its name because you think interdictor would mean a gravity well generator. No, it just has 4 ordnance pods. That's it.
You want to know what broke Grant? Was the TIE Bomber Mark IV or something in there?
Oh, the this thing right here, the TIE Interdictor.
It really broke him. Like, he literally stopped talking when I showed him that. No, another one that broke him was when it was the TIE gunship. He's like, are you flipping kidding?
Wait, what's that one at the very bottom right?
Oh, the TIE Raptor droid.
What?
Well, here's the thing though. That was like 160 years later.
Yeah. But still, it looks like it's just the flipping canopy.
It is. But Zomsi, look above it though.
It's with a ball in the bit.
It's just the ball.
The TIE Star Cruiser.
Oh, that's a get broken.
I just face palmed so hard. It looks like a truck.
It does look like a truck. That's the one that broke Grant.
They literally just made a flying truck.
Yeah, they did.
Well, before they made the TIE Striker, they did have a ground superiority version of the TIE Fighter, apparently.
And Empire was known for quite the design.
But here's the thing: out of all these, there's one that is not a actual
You know
TIE Fighter, and that's this thing. Actually, there's 2 of them. There's this, and there's the TIE Crawler and the TIE Mauler.
Oh, another one that broke Grant, the TIE boat.
Oh yeah, why? No.
This one right above the bottom left.
What, this one right here?
What is that?
A torpedo bomber, apparently. No, Halo here. The TIE Advanced Bomber right here.
Oh my lord.
They took the TIE Advance from. They took the TIE Advance from
Yeah.
Rebels and put it with the bomber, and that's what you get.
The TIE Advance wasn't actually bad.
What
No.
is that? Oh, that looks disgusting.
It's the TIE Lambda. They basically took the Lambda shuttle, TIE Fighter, stuck them together.
Why?
I don't know.
Don't ask questions.
Oh, by the way, Halo, the one you're thinking of is the TIE Skimmer.
Oh, the TIE Skimmer. Great.
It's like, why is that a thing?
Why is it a thing? That's why I didn't care when they got rid of quite a bit of Legends, because stuff like that, for instance.
I mean, some of these are practical, like the TIE Recon and the TIE Scout.
No. But the thing is, when you read the names, they put no. It's not TIE. It's T.I.E. Scout.
Yeah, because it stands for Twin Ion Engines.
Oh no. But the fact is, when they have 2 TIE fighters in that list, and one is then it's T.I.E.
E.
And sometimes it's all just one word.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting at.
Yeah. I noticed a picture under there. My favorite thing that happened in The Last Jedi, the Praetorian Guard. Those things were good.
Yeah.
We actually got to see something like the Imperial Guard do something.
Ironically, they're better than the Imperial Guard.
Yeah.
Even though
We actually got to see them do something for once.
Yeah.
besides in Episode 3 getting knocked out by Yoda.
Well, those were the fake Imperial Guard. Those were the ones that
Oh
weren't
no!
trained.
Oh no! Those were real. They just weren't. It would
Trained
be-
like the actual Imperial.
Well, no. It's just, I don't know, Yoda did catch him by surprise.
They're like, what?
Like, what? Oh!
I mean,
Whoops.
the Legends Imperial Guard, how they were trained was.
Oh no!
really
No!
good.
Even in
Canon Legends are the same exact, actually.
yeah, because they did bring back big chunks of Legends, I think.
Yeah.
So-
Thrawn.
but they got the original writer for Thrawn to come back. So I
Yeah,
mean, that
Timothy
is
Zahn.
one- Yeah, so that's one.
And
Well,
because of that,
Thrawn
they
was
brought
the
back-
be-
and
Thrawn was an amazing character.
He
And
was.
they still
And
made
is
him
an
great.
amazing character.
They still made him great. So I mean, you can't get it wrong with him.
And the
The
thing I
really
find
only thing that isn't like human looking that's
Well,
an admiral.
Well, no, the reason why that he got that rank is
Palp.
one, he helped Pelp out, and two, he also gave Pelp coordinates for the
unknown
unknown
regions.
region.
Yeah, he helped him out a lot there.
And that's why the Empire fell back into the unknown regions after the war.
But
because-
and I agree with this question. Where the hell is Thrawn during this time? He can't be dead because the chips do have extremely long lifespans.
It's called. This is what I'm thinking. He's building up a fleet.
well, I mean, if you watch Rebels, I mean, it would explain what happened to him.
Well, no, he's still alive.
Yeah, I know he's still alive.
I'm
But he-
calling that
But
he's gonna appear in
you would think
episode
he would have
9.
died though because his bridge was open when he got sucked into hyperspace. So
No, it wasn't.
yeah, it was. Remember did you watch the new season or no?
I watched it a little bit, but Thrawn's still alive towards the end of the season.
You gotta watch the final, and then it will explain it a bit better to you.
I know Paleon gets killed.
Oh no. I'm being dead serious. Like you gotta watch the season to understand what happened.
Yeah, Thrawn kind of
Got sucked out into space.
got sucked into hyperspace.
No. They had him clamped down with the ship, and they launched it in hyperspace while the glass on the bridge was broke. So he either died or he's somewhere else.
I'd say-
I'm calling that he somehow survived, and he's just building a fleet, and he's gonna appear in episode 9,
Yeah,
and he's gonna have like
he's
a
just gonna,
fleet
he's just gonna
of,
push.
and
he's
he's
gonna
gonna have a
push Kylo
fleet
down.
of
Uh,
what was
Well-
that really good ship that we keep on talking good about? And he just has a fleet of 20 resurgence class resurgence classes.
With a couple of Bellators.
Yeah, with
Yeah.
a couple of Bellators.
Because he was smart.
Yeah,
Thrawn
he-
was smart.
Yeah, if you guys go into Legends with the Thrawn campaign, he with very few ships, he nearly brought the New Republic to its knees.
Yeah.
Because he's just such a brilliant strategist.
Even in new canon, he was like that. So that means
I'll admit though, in New Canon, they didn't.
they had to tweak him. He was
Yeah,
cool.
yeah, they nerfed him. In Legends, he was basically unbeatable.
Yeah, but they may have tweaked him here, but he's still broken.
He can literally develop a combat strategy based off of your culture.
Oh yeah, no, they still do that with him now.
I know, but I'm saying in general, that's just how he makes his strategies. He does it based off of your culture.
He goes like, "Oh, you're Mandalorian."
Let's see how I can do this.
Let's see how.
Pretty much what they did to him was they dialed him down from God to Jesus.
Seriously,
Yeah, that's all they did.
because like
That's
we,
not that much big of a leap.
No, it isn't. That's what I mean. They didn't dumb him down too much. They still kept a lot of his good aspects to get in there.
his tactical.
Because they didn't want the fans to kill them.
Well, no, it's not that. It's also you can't do Thrawn wrong. You can't make him bad. Like I mean, you
Like
can't
the
make-
Battle of
Only way to
like the.
bad is if you change his race
yeah.
and you made him
Oh,
an idiot.
dude, people would have killed them if they changed his race.
Because
People would have called Star Wars racist.
no, in this case, Thomas would be specious.
Specious.
Changing our blue people.
Blue lives matter.
Green,
Blue lives.
Zamsa, you wouldn't mind that. You're green.
Yeah.
but personally, him looking blue is better.
Who knows? I
And
mean,
I'm not gonna lie, what he did during the Battle of Anton, or whatever it's called, Antonon, he did a smart move. 7 Imperial Star Destroyers and 2 interdictors, and the interdictors were closed, and they were close enough to hold them there to a gravity well down there, and have the interdictors rip them out of hyperspace if they tried to run.
The only reason why it failed was because one of his officers disobeyed his order. That's the only.
Yeah,
reason why.
Admiral Constantine was an idiot, was a glory-seeking jackass.
Yeah, if he had listened to Thrawn,
They would have annihilated that entire cell.
Yeah. No, I'm not gonna listen to the guy who knows what he's talking about.
Yeah, I'm not gonna listen to the guy that basically almost destroyed the rebels.
Yeah, the got this. I'm gonna not.
It'll almost, in Legends again,
I got
almost.
this. I can do this on my own.
Here's the thing, though: the interdictors in canon are still weakly armed. What the fuck you gonna do? I guess a Quasar that's coming straight at you.
I mean, ironically, they made them like they had the prototype that was as big as a Star Destroyer, and then they dumbed them down after the prototype to the size of a Vindicator. I mean, no.
Yeah, Vindicator.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the Vindicator was basically that without the gravity well generators.
Yeah, they pretty much made it a smaller version because they used to be interdictors used to be as big as a Star Destroyer.
Well, yeah, they literally actually took Star Destroyers and put interdictor
Parts in, yeah.
yeah, the actual interdiction
But
part.
I can understand why they dumb it down. I mean, it makes sense.
It's probably more cost effective. Because I'm pretty sure those gravity well generators are fucking expensive.
I don't think they're cheap.
No, I don't think they're cheap at all.
No, that's the thing. The interdictors they could change is add more defense weapons around the grav wells.
Yeah, like I personally think either laser cannons and small anti-personnel. Because in Rebels, I'll admit what they did with smart is actually land troops on the surface and actually attack it from there past the shielding.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Rebels may not have been everyone's favorite show, but it was way better. It was actually very good.
Yeah, but Clone Wars still beats it.
Clone Wars won't be beat. I'm not gonna say that now. But Rebels had a lot of good strategy in it. And they had very good characters in there too.
And it brought back Ahsoka.
And Rex.
Oh, yeah. And the fact that she didn't die, and then they pretty much pointed out who that old man in Return of the Jedi was.
Yeah, that was Rex. Believe it or not, can they actually confirmed that's Rex.
Yeah, because why not?
And we finally figured out what happened to Gregor after the Clone Wars.
Dead.
Well, no, he lived, and then he died.
Yeah, he took.
Yeah, and we finally found out what happened to Ahsoka. She lived. Then she found out that Darth Vader was Anakin eventually.
And then technically died.
Actually, no, she's still alive. Because
No. Remember, she died, but Ezra yanked her out.
Oh yeah. Technically speaking. Yeah.
So she did die.
In a way, you could say. And then she came back through the area where she.
Which now time travel's a thing in Star Wars. It's like, really?
It's always been there, though. That's the thing. Alchemy. Remember, Sith alchemy's always been there. Of course, they would have time travel because it was still
Sith alchemy was overpowered.
Yes, and it still is.
Turret attack.
Still is.
I mean, they through Sith alchemy in new canon, they made Darth Vader's armor a little bit better. Like in the areas that wouldn't get damaged, like his gloves are now nano. Like his chest guard is actually lightsaber proof, so it can't through Sith alchemy. It makes him stronger too.
Also, you also got like Sith bonds, like the Rakghoul Plague and the Terran attack.
Yeah.
Now,
Mind
this
you,
may be a little bit off topic, but
we're still off topic.
Yeah.
still off. But who's everyone's favorite Sith Lord? Mine is Darth Revan, hands down.
Revan. Honestly, either as a Sith or a Jedi, just as a character, he's honestly one of the best.
Yeah, I love reading that book just over and over.
I've read the book of Darth Revan. I've read everything I could on him. He's just my favorite character because he honestly shows he shows the struggles of both the light and the dark and how they can intertwine with each other as well.
And he pretty much made the Grey Order in a sense.
Yeah. Another one that I like as a Star Wars character is Galen Merrick or Starkiller. I'll admit he's a little broken, but he's a good character.
If Vader was trying majority of the time against Galen, Vader's actually 10 times more powerful.
Yeah, to be quite honest, the only time Vader was actually somewhat serious was during Force Unleashed 2 when you fought him in Kamino. That was the only time he was actually being somewhat serious.
Because he's just trying to turn Galen on his side majority of the time.
Yeah, a lot of times he does it. Vader never goes all out.
No.
The only time I really consider Vader going all out.
The thing is, you can see Vader when he goes full out, and that's just the scary thought because
those poor rebels in Rogue One.
Those poor rebels in the comics.
Oh yeah, the ones where he took on a whole army.
Took out a whole army, yeah.
Literally a whole army with tanks and everything by himself.
Yeah, so I mean,
And the funny thing is, he never lived. The only thing he did was really just pull pins on some grenades and let them kill each other.
Well, no, not just that. He also blocked a lot of shots coming in at him. Like, he even cut a tank blaster shot in half.
No, he deflected that shit right back and was like, "Bitch, please."
Yeah, Vader has the best defense, if anything.
Well, here's the thing. He's had 20 years to master his defense.
He mastered every style. That's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
You
He
wanna know
mixed,
what's the most
and that's
annoying
the
thing?
thing is about what Vader did though to trick his enemies he fights, because every Jedi they'll know a little bit of each style. The thing is about Vader's is he incorporates them into his own style. He literally made his own through all of them. So
All of a pod, obviously, because he didn't know what that was.
Do you wanna know what's the most
no,
annoying
he had
thing, though?
Mapod. He learned that.
Right,
When people try to tell me that Darth Sidious and Darth Plagueis are the same person.
They are not.
They're not.
In both canon and Legends, Plagueis is completely different. The,
Yeah.
the actual species is a little controversial with canon, but in Legends, he was a Moonalist.
They say he's a
No.
Moonalist. And then
How do you
some
guys
reason
like-
some peop- Huh?
Now, how do you guys like Darth Nihilus?
Nihilus?
Nihilus.
You mean the
however-
guy who could drain life from stuff?
Yeah, Lord of Hunger.
Yeah. By the way, screw the Death Star. Just get Nihilus.
We're gonna go resurrect somebody. Who? Nihilus. Oh, good grief.
No, you resurrect Nihilus and Revan.
I'm not gonna lie. Out of like actual powerful
And
Sith, I think
Vader.
not. Out of actual powerful Sith, I think Nihilus is probably one of the most powerful Sith to ever exist.
Even though Bane was technically called the literal most powerful.
Well, no, the reason is because he made the rule too. But Nihilus can literally consume an entire planet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What other Sith can? The only time I can see any other Sith doing something similar is this is during Legends in the Dark Force comics, is with Palpatine calling out that Force storm. It's the only other time I consider him as powerful as Nihilus, because Nihilus can literally consume the life out of an entire planet.
Yeah.
I bet you
And
he
there
could
was-
consume whole Coruscant like it was a fucking snack.
And
I
then
don't
there was
think
the
Coruscant
first
would be a
Darth, the
snack because
immortal
there isn't-
Sith God, and Dedu.
The one. I don't think you could consume anything on Coruscant. Everything's technically dead. There's no organic life on that.
Well, no, he mostly feeds off the Force life of living beings, which
Oh, yeah.
Coruscant has probably the densest population in the galaxy.
Oh yeah, it has over trillions on it because of how big it is.
Mhm.
It's trillions.
Plus, to be fair,
Mm.
Darth Nihilus looks the coolest.
He does. He's literally a piece of armor.
Nihilus,
I mean,
Revan,
just look at that. He looks badass.
He does.
Him and
Revan.
Vader look
He's
the best of
basically
it.
a shadow.
And you can literally kill him as much as you want. He's literally fused his soul to his armor. Well, to his clothing.
He is a
He's a wound in the force is what they call him.
Nah, he looks like a Nazgul. No, I'm kidding.
He does kind of. Oh, and then Darth Talon.
Eh,
Mm. No, Darth Talon's a female. Female red
Yeah,
Twi'lek.
Darth Talon's a female.
I meant to say she's okay. I think she's.
She's not bad. She's not bad on the eyes. That's for sure.
I think she's just there for looks, to be honest.
Well, I'm not gonna lie. She's not a bad concept because how often do we see a lot of female Jedi, but we don't see very many female Sith.
Oh no, don't get me wrong, but
Like for that kind of generation. Yeah, I get what you mean.
She's just there for looks.
Yeah, she's eye candy, is what she is.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, the only thing she wearing is leather boots, pants, like short shorts, and a bra. That's it.
Darth Mar.
I don't remember Darth Mar much.
Here, I'll show you a picture.
Hold on. Darth Mar. Oh, this guy.
Yeah, he's pretty cool.
Yeah, I like his look. You can tell he based himself off of Revan.
Yeah.
And
I
I-
mean, a lot of Sith did just because Revan was a badass.
He was honestly basically the perfect Force being.
Yeah.
I mean, anyone.
And then you got someone ugly like this.
Hey, look. It's Darth.
Malgus.
I was gonna
And
say
then, personally, Darth Malgus's master,
Maverick. It looks like Maverick.
this guy,
Malik.
Yeah. Malik looks like Malagus.
Darth Vindican,
Oh.
Vindican, yeah.
he looks like Revan.
There's a dead reference to Revan right there.
The only difference is the mask
Yeah.
and the lightsaber.
Well, actually, no. If you play Revan in Old Republic 1, you can use the dual-bladed lightsabers, because screw it.
Yeah, so
Which I
it's
usually dig.
basically him just with a different mask.
And if you cut off that mask, it's a different species. Because that's the actual Sith species.
Yeah.
Oh, God!
We got super sidetracked. It's beautiful.
I know. Sorry about that, guys, but this is the kind of shit that usually happens when we talk about this crap.
Yeah. Revan's good.
Revan's good,
Oh.
Bane's good, Mars good.
Darth Jadus.
Can't even say
Oh, the legends of Han and Leia's son.
Vader's awesome.
Uh,
Maul's
Vader probably out of a lot of sword
no,
fighters.
Not that one. That's Darth Jaden.
No, that's
What
Darth
were you-
Kaitis. Excuse me.
What,
That's his
what were
name.
you gonna
Darth Jadus.
What were you gonna say, Django?
No, I was talking about Jason Solo. Oh yeah, this guy, this cockhole.
Yeah, that guy.
This guy that that is your master in the Old Republic when you play as a Sith.
What would be intimidating to see? Like, if, say, you're a Jedi and the first thing you see coming down the hallway, and one side of the hallway is Nihilus and the other is Vader.
I'd rather take on Vader.
Even though Vader would still one-shot you in a way.
No, the immortal Sith god Abdu and Nihilus.
Nah, that's the thing.
Abadu.
All of them, all the Sith are great. I mean, besides Dooku, good grief.
Yeah, Dooku is the bad one. Darth Maul is cool.
Darth Maul's good personality-wise, but he's not.
Now if we're talking about the
He has
Clone
a
Wars
good
though,
backstory.
if we're talking
No,
about the
no.
Clone Wars version, oh no, that he's completely insane.
Oh yeah.
But if we're talking about like before Episode 1, he was a badass.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. No, Vader may not show it usually, but he's just as powerful as a lot of them, with Nihilus and all of them.
Mhm.
But that's because he's the chosen one, so of course he has a lot more power in the Force. Even
And
though
that
he's
and that he just doesn't care.
Yeah. No, but the thing is, he's just that powerful. He literally can create a shield with his Force around his starfighter and still fire out of it. So, that's what he did against a huge squadron of X-wings against a huge amount of.
No, he literally single-handedly annihilated home Phoenix fleets.
Not just that, just annihilated a lot of X-wings by putting a shield around it. Like literally putting a force shield around his.
A little
TIE
force
fighter.
field, literal force field.
Okay.
Yeah, and destroyed nearly all of them. Luke is the only one who shot him down.
No, Luke rammed him.
Oh yeah, Luke rammed him. Yeah. No,
This
but
is fan art of how to make Darth Malgus look good.
hey, look, it's Maverick. I'm kidding.
It's Malik.
That would have made him look better.
No, you should look at Darth Vader's improved suit.
Man, I wonder why Malagus looks like Malik. Kidding. I mean, why does Malagus look like Malik? If you look at Darth Malik, you'll see what I'm talking about.
Yeah, right here. This was Vader's
Oh, if
new
you look
armor
at
is gonna
Kylo
look like.
Ren,
Was going to.
I'm not gonna lie, that looks so much better.
It would have been
Now-
better.
if you look at Kylo Ren, you can obviously tell it looks like he took inspiration from
Vader and Redder. Vader and Revan.
Yeah, it looks like he just merged them both together.
Kylo Ren is with his mask. With his masky,
Yeah.
he does look like a. You could say he looks like a Knight of Revan instead of Knights
He
of Ren.
does. That's the sad part. He does.
He's not